Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dot Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. It is now time for round 15, it's time for Misano in the San Marino GP. So today it's all about practice and qualifying in this absolutely magnificent track here in Misano. Now here in San Rimini, it is probably it's close to say, but it's one of my most favourite tracks in MotoGP right now, and I think it shows in my record in this track this season in MotoGP 21, from Moto3 to Moto2, and now MotoGP. We have dominated in every single round of Misano in Moto3 and Moto2. Now MotoGP, of course, is starting now. We want to keep the trend going. The last time we won in all three categories was Le Mans, and I'm hoping we can do the same here today in Misano. And honestly, I have a great feeling about it. I hope I'm not bigging myself up for absolutely no reason and then we're going to just doing a terrible job. But we cannot qualify as bad as we did in Aragon, and we cannot allow it. It's going to have to stop. Silverstone, shocking. Aragon, shocking. We can't have that any longer as we go into Cavone for the very first time. What a wonderful, magnificent section of track this part is here in Misano. Of course, in real life MotoGP, we're going to be seeing Misano very, very soon. But of course, up by 0.2 of a second actually in the third split. This is looking rather positive considering I was down by a couple of tenths of a second in the first sector, as we now go hard on the brakes for the left-hander of Misano in the name of the track, of course. Bring on the power with power setting 3 enabled. Across the line we will go, and is that top position? It's top position for the man on your screens right now. Matt Grant on board the Aprilia has put it in the podium in green once again, as Grant is right there at the top. Now, can we continue this way? Because of course, the way it works in MotoGP, usually they start with the qualifying laps that aren't too bad, and then all of a sudden they just chuck in ridiculously fast-paced lap times. I'm curious to see what they are going to be like in a moment's time, as we're already up by 0.3 of a second already in the first split once again. So underneath the Tiso bridge right now as we go hard on the brakes, and I mentioned this in the Aragon GP just a couple of days ago, or maybe last week depending on when I uploaded the videos. Unfortunately, I don't really remember. But basically, I have changed the brakes from the 12 inches to the 13 inches. I've been messing around with this all season, changing to the 12-inch front brake to the 13-inch front brake and just testing how I'm feeling. And most of the season I've done it in 12 inches, and I felt that the braking was been rather smoother and it's been more controlled. However, it has also probably not been as quick, but at the same time, good tyre life. So it's a bit of a up and down. Of course, with everything in MotoGP, it's a lot of trial and error, understanding where you're good and understanding where you're not. And I do feel like this is the right combination to go with. And using the soft option tyres is a very, very difficult challenge, because sometimes the tyres just burn up completely. As the Repsol Honda man Paul Espargaro just chucked his fastest lap of this session so far, just 28,000th of a second behind Matt Grant on your screens right now, of course, as Miguel Oliveira, two fast first sectors. The first and second sector for Miguel Oliveira, not looking too bad, is the Portuguese man as Maverick Vinales puts himself up into third position. So these qualifying lap times are starting to come in, and I'm saying qualifying even though it's a practice session because of course we still have to qualify effectively for Q2. So if we can do it now rather than doing it in qualifying, we still have the tyres available, we can just go all gung-ho for pole position, or at least the front row. I do have a great feeling about Misano, and I'm feeling confident already. Even just after a couple of laps, we are going in there, still improving our lap times. Very similar lap times as well here, or give or take a few little minor errors. But Espargaro, Vinales, Bastianini, and a few more were all on red sectors there, but Miguel Oliveira has upset the apple cart and has now gone to the top position, 0.3 of a second clear to the man on your screen right now. The Aprilia RSGP, with very, very heavily worn tyres right now, still have a good chance of getting near the top positions, but as long as we get into Q2, it doesn't really matter, to be quite honest with you, as we go on the right-hand side for 13. Nice controls going into that very difficult right-hander, as we have broken even with Miguel Oliveira going into the third split. It's a KTM in the top positions right now. Good to see Miguel Oliveira, Brad Binder and Joan Mir, of course, on this Suzuki, doing pretty well. As Pecco Bagnaia, that familiar man, we know he does well in Misano. He did well in MotoGP until unfortunately he met his demise last season, of course. As we go across the line, no improvements, down by 0.4 of a second to Miguel Oliveira's, but we've got a couple of more lap times in us yet, so let's see how we can get on. But you can see in the top right-hand corner, actually I was going to say bottom right, but that'd be completely wrong. The right-hand side of your screen there, we only differed in the lap times by about a tenth and a little bit, so very, very impressive pace so far. And of course, I tend to find that this is the... Ooh, what on earth has gone on there in the right-hander of Rio? Something major wrong has gone on in that right-hander. A lot of crashes. Thankfully, it's not stopped my lap. Of course, it should impede my lap in real life, because of course I should be slowing down for a yellow flag. But I was going to mention now, the qualifying pace, the practice pace, is always so much quicker than the actual Grand Prix itself, which makes sense, but within reason. I mean, this is a video game in the sense that the AI is only trained to be so quick, but in the races themselves, they are quite slower compared to what they are in practice and qualifying. They are very, very difficult to beat in the qualifying sessions. I mean, my qualifying record in MotoGP so far has been abysmal. In Moto2 and Moto3 it was pretty good as we get a little bit out of shape going into Cavone, but in MotoGP, pretty bad. We've only had about 2 front row starts, and the rest of them have been very, very far back starts, mostly not being able to get out of qualifying 1. But speaking of qualifying, we're sort of running a qualifying lap right now. We are looking at potentially the top spot of this practice session, which is a massive, massive momentum boost going into the qualifying session in just a moment's time. So let's bring on the power and let's get across the line to see where Grant is going to go. And I tell you what, guys, it's top position. So look at the timing sheets, and Grant and Bagnaia, the 2 fastest men, with Miguel Oliveira down by a tenth and a half as well. So we all move into qualifying 2, when the riders from qualifying 1 will be Morbidelli and Martin, and they're now ready to do battle for pole position. So as far as I'm concerned, we're not going to take anything less than a pole position here today, or very much close to. Maybe with a front row, I guess, is the more sensible and mature option, but as far as I'm concerned, I want the pole. We've not had a pole position in MotoGP, and it's the only thing that has eluded us. We've had fastest lap of the race, we've had podium finishes, we've had last lap battles and excursions. There's been more carnage on the left hand side of your screen there for Rio, but we are yet to have a good, solid pole position that has been well and truly inherited, well and truly deserved, and not inherited by any means necessary. We have done a wonderful job in racing. Can we do a job today in qualifying? A little bit warmer temperatures as Jack Miller just makes a mistake and he remounts his motorcycle, and of course a decent combination of tyres still left to be used, a plethora of tyres actually, because of course I've not been using them all since we did so well in the practice session. That's why it's so important to do well in the practice, so you don't have to go into qualifying and use those valuable tyres in qualifying 1. So the right hand side for Cavone, very fast corner this, going into the right hand side, and about 170 miles an hour with the right foot down to the floor. Very, very scary stuff, as we now go hard on the brakes for the right hander of Caro, up by 4.5 tenths of a second to Johan Zarco's lap time. This is going to be a low 131, could potentially, if we're quick enough, get into the low 131s, or maybe even the 130s. Best sub 131 is probably absolutely unreal, but bring on the power. Let's see where we'll end up. Go across the line now, and it's going to be top position for Grant. A 131.223. Johan Zarco's going to have to dig deep to try and beat that one. How about that? Is this going to be the first pole position, or are we going to get the same rubbish like we did last time when Jack Miller pinched the pole position in Sachsenring and then Quartararo pinched the pole position in Le Mans? So let's see what happens going into the right-hander for Rio, then to turn 5, and then the left-hander here now for turn 6. Nice and tight to the apex, fire it out, but don't quite go over the rumble strip because you lose a little bit of time. But we are still up just a little bit. It was briefly in the green, but now it's just dropped just a little bit down to white again. But onto the left-hand side for Quercia, as we get a little bit too tight to the apex there, down by 2.5 tenths of a second. So we aren't going to probably improve on this lap, but I tell you what, that was a bloody good lap, no matter what. So as long as you get a good lap going and you're pretty much confident about it, and I don't think that's going to be beaten. A 131.223, looking at the timing screens at all the other sessions, no one has been even close to that. And of course, we topped the session in the other sessions, and we still didn't even get that close as well. So pretty good stuff from us, as far as I'm concerned. The soft option tyres are looking a little bit cooked right now. You can see on the right-hand side especially, very, very warm and very, very depreciated and degraded right now. Absolutely decimated, in fact. So let's let Jack Miller get on through. Let's jump into the pits, let's get some fresh tyres on, and let's improve on our pole position, or potential pole position, as things stand. So we're going right to the end of the session now, guys, and there has been no changes whatsoever. Nobody is competing for this 1:31.223 set by Matt Grant just a lap ago. We only done one lap in this qualifying session, and so far, it might be enough for pole. If we can get pole here today, I'm going to be absolutely delirious. I'm going to be so chuffed to bits about this because it's crucial for the World Championship that we have a good race here in Misano. And starting in the best possible position can only mean good things for us. And we're already up by 0.3 of a second. This could very be a 1:30 lap, a sub 1:31, as something has happened here just after Quercia. Absolute carnage, bike strewn all over the place, but it doesn't matter to us because we're still on a very, very fast lap time. Half a second we were up by briefly there, but we'll bring on the power and things will start to sort themselves out. A soft front and soft rear. We can only pretty much get the one lap out of it. We only have one more lap remaining anyway, so this could be the 1:31 lap, or excuse me, the 1:30 lap. I keep getting it wrong forever. Is going to be amazing if we can get this done. Hard on the brakes, we'll go for the right-hander, up by 0.3 of a second, guys and gals. This is going to be your pole lap if we can just stay on the black stuff, the tarmac if you will, and keep it all together. Hard on the brakes, we're going for Misano for turn 16. Is this a pole position? Beckoning the man who finished first in the World Championship last season in Moto 2. Is it going to be a pole position? It is indeed! A 1:30.671. Unbelievable. Get out of town, Matt Grant. That is terrific. I'm absolutely loving that one. I cannot wait for the Grand Prix tonight at 8 PM, and I hope you guys can't wait as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe if you did, and hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single Dots Race upload. Thanks for watching, guys, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dr. Race video.